Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be getting started shortly. I am very, very excited what we have going on tonight. We have an amazing turnout, but please be sure to continue to invite as many people to get onto the call. We have our speaker on the line already, and we are so, so excited about what she's going to be blessing us today with. So who we have on the call today is a very special lady. This is a lady that I respect dearly. She's a lady that I've gotten to know on a very personal level. She's coached me. She's my mentor. She's one of my success coaches, and she has made me believe that everything that you put your mind to is possible. Many a times we have a lot of dreams, desires, and we feel that is not attainable. However, when you have someone who we consider to be a mentor and a coach who leads the way and shows you that it's possible, it gives you everything that you have. It gives you the ammunition, it gives you the excitement, it gives you the motivation to also continue to fight for what you believe in. So I want to thank her so much for how she has inspired me. She is an author, a speaker, she is an entrepreneur. She's doing very, very well for herself. She's also a John Maxwell certified coach as well as a Tony Robbins protege. She's also a direct marketing expert, and she has championed the growth of the Nigerian market and has done so well with it. Can you imagine someone who can champion the growth of a whole country? That is the person that we're going to be listening to today. She's an amazing speaker. Every time she speaks, she commands respect. She commands you to listen to her because she's very knowledgeable and definitely an expert in her field. She has also opened up her own show called the King Pinyin Show, and every time I follow her and watch her, I am so amazed by the things that she's doing, the lives that she's changing, and the people that she's touching, coaching, and inspiring along the way. I don't think she even knows the magnitude of the people that she's blessing along this journey, but today it gives me great honor and pleasure to have her be on my call tonight and help me to help all of you prepare yourself to unleash your greatness in 2014. So without further ado, I want to introduce none other than our very own, who is also a double platinum senior vice president in our 5 Links family, none other than double platinum senior vice president, Ms. King Pinyin. Ms. King Pinyin, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. It's an honor. Thank you for being on the call. I turn the call over to you.
Thank you so much for having me on the call. I'm excited. It's a packed call, I can tell you that. I mean, there's almost 200 people when I came in, so I really am excited. And I want to start by commending you for putting this conference call together, because there's so many people right now who are already in holiday mode, they're in party mode, but you thought about empowering people toward the end of the year. So I really want to commend you. And I love the name, Unleash Your Greatness. That's an amazing name. I think that everybody on the call is going to leave the call this evening feeling like they've been set free. They've been unleashed to go out there and take 2014 by storm. So I want to thank you. I want to commend you for the woman that you are, for the leader that you are, for the sister that you are, for the friend that you are. And I really cannot wait. Congratulations on your new book. That's just amazing. I think it just goes to show that the more you grow and overcome obstacles and challenges in your life, the more you have to say or to give back to the people who are listening to you and who are zoomed in on you. So I want to congratulate you on that book. And I got my copy. I just got it today. So I can't wait to go through. I know. I can't wait to go through the pages and pick your brain a little bit, because I'm somebody who loves to learn. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. As long as there's a book in front of me, I want to dig deep inside of it. And I'm sure that within those pages, I'm going to learn a whole lot. And I'm looking forward to bigger and better things from you in 2014. I'm looking forward to you and Bernard, my incredible brother. I mean, I saw a picture of him yesterday on Facebook, and I think you should go run for president in Ghana. I'm telling you, he's going to win. But, I was thinking about it. I think he has to add John Bernard in front of his name because it seems like everybody in Ghana who's the president has to be called John. So Bernard can add John. and from that picture yesterday, I promise you everybody's going to vote for him, including me. So I want to congratulate you guys. You too, right? Yeah, there we go.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I want to congratulate you too, and I'm looking forward to carrying you guys to the stage in 5 links as Platinum Senior Vice Presidents next year. So I'm excited, and I'm here, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
Thank you. Take it away.
Okay. Well, guys, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. I am super excited. Let me start by letting you all know how much I respect and honor you, because this is a very, very busy season for many people. Everybody's out there doing stuff and trying to, have fun, or they're spending time with family, but not you guys. You're here on the call. You want to learn more. You want to be more. You want to have more. You want to do more. So I truly honor all of you. And my hope and my prayer is that within the next 45 minutes or so that you guys are going to get absolute value from the call. Can you hear somebody talking, Lovina? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm hoping that over the next 45 minutes, all of you are going to take back something that would just absolutely bless your socks off in 2014. And again, my name is King Pinyin. I'm out of Maryland. I've been around for a couple of years in the U.S., but I've also been in 5 links this is my 9th year with the company. Can you guys believe that? And prior to entrepreneurship, I worked at JOB like everybody else. And I got to a point where even though I had a great job, I wanted more. I wanted to be more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to have more. I felt like I was settling at my job. And just like all of you, I made up my mind way back in 2005 to change my life. And I think that particular decision to change my life came as a result of being in a position earlier on where I was unable to take care of my son. I had a handsome little baby in 2002, and I struggled with him all through 2003 to the point where I had to send him home to Africa to my parents when he was just a year old. And I'll never forget the day he left, because that was the day that it became obvious to me that something had to change in my life. It became so obvious to me that even though I had this good job, my life was not where I wanted it to be, and that it was just a job. And all that job was going to help me do was settle and be average and not really have the finances or the money in abundance like I wanted to live the lifestyle that I wanted. And so when my son left, my back was up against the wall, so was my husband. And in the course of reanalyzing our lives and reevaluating our lives, we realized that entrepreneurship would probably be our way out of that struggle. And so we started looking around, and the first thing that came our way, believe it or not, was a home-based business with 5 links. Now, I never owned a business before, didn't think I could be an entrepreneur, but I was hungry, and I was frustrated with my life the way it was. And I just grabbed onto 5 links and decided to give it my absolute best shot. And within 4 months of going at it with every single bit of my soul, I was able to walk away from my job. And I think that just unleashed me, Lovina, as you say. That just unleashed me onto greatness, because I realized deep within me that there was a sleeping giant. I realized that deep within me there was a woman who could be more, who could do more, who wanted to have more so that they can turn around and equip, encourage, and empower others. And that journey has since led me to doing some phenomenal things. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to co-author in several books with the likes of Les Brown, Jack Canfield, and Mark Victor Hansen, Bob Proctor. I've just been blessed, Brian Tracy, to do all of these things along the way. And I've also been blessed along the way to rise to the highest level in 5 links, which is the double platinum senior vice president position. And I've also been blessed since then to go on and expand the company into Africa, and was the vice president of sales for that company. And that gave me a whole different set of, lessons and belief system in myself. And I've also been blessed along the way to launch my own talk show called the King Pinyin Show that airs on my website, kingpinyin.com. And I've just been blessed also to start a movement for women, because I think that women are really the backbone of society. We really are. We are the nurturers. And in the course of my journey, I found out that many women have forgotten who they are. We've been trained to look to our husband for everything. And if somebody who's looking at your husband for everything and not fixing you, life at home is going to be miserable. So I've gone on to launch this movement called Ignite Your Life, which is specifically geared towards equipping, encouraging, and empowering women around the world to know that they've got greatness within them, to help them unleash that greatness so that they could do and have more in life. And I do that in the form of a conference. That's held twice a year, and it's just been amazing since I launched it to see how many women have come through and how many lives have been changed, over the last couple of months. So I'm excited to be on this call with you guys today because of one major reason. We're coming up to the end of the year, and I promise you, if you stay with me over the next 30 minutes, I promise you that 2014 will never be the same again. And I know you're sitting there thinking, what gives King Pinyin the nerve to think that she's going to change my life in 30 minutes? I don't think. I know. I know that I'm going to help you change your life in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to help you maybe look deeper into your life and the kind of life that you've been living up until now. And if it sinks in, it's going to help you to start the journey toward unleashing your greatness. It's going to help you look at 2013, kiss it goodbye, but be ready to face 2014 and roar like you've never roared before. So over the next 30 minutes, I encourage you to grab a pen and a paper. I'm sure Lovina is going to have a playback for this call. So if you're somebody who likes to listen, if you're auditory like me, I want you to just sit in a quiet environment. Close your eyes if you have to, so you disconnect your brain from everything that's going on around you, and just listen to me speak and ask yourself some questions as I'm talking. But most importantly, I want you guys to pay attention to the voices in your head. Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to start having a conversation with the voice that's in your head. Because I want you guys to understand that even though we're not in the same room right now, we literally are in the same space right now because you're listening to me. And so I'm able to tap into whatever it is, wherever you are in the country right now. And so it's one big old classroom that's going on, and we're all going to be connected. And because we're connected in spirit, I'm going to be talking spirit to you. And I'm just going to let somebody speak through me to you. And it doesn't matter if you're crying. It's okay. Sometimes that will happen when you're in pure spirit mode. That will happen because you're going to look back on your life and you're going to think, oh, my gosh, I have so much potential within me. I have so much greatness within me. I have this giant that's inside of me that's just been asleep. And you're bearing the average today. You're bearing mediocre today. And you're looking forward to 2014 knowing that you're going to conquer it. Knowing that at the end of 2014, when you get back on this call next year, you're going to be in such a wonderful place. And how do I know that? Because when the turnaround started happening in my life, I cried a lot. I let go of a lot of things. And then I started embracing my years as they were coming forward. I tell you guys, I literally have shut down since the 20th. Because I start going into myself, start asking myself the questions that I'm going to ask you guys today. Because I feel like if it has helped me, chances are it'll help you guys too. So I'm going to just go through some of these questions with you that I've been going through since the 20th. And it's going deeper and deeper and deeper until January 1st. And I want you guys to notice something. We're just 4 days away from 2014, just 4 days away. Now, if you're waiting up until the 31st to start writing out your resolutions and things that you want to change in your life, then chances are you're going to be talking about superficial things, very superficial things like, make more money, lose weight, those really superficial things, hit platinum, hit SBP, those very superficial things. But if you start today, I wish I talked to you guys about 10 days ago. We would have all started at the same time. But not to worry, it's better to start today when you got 4 days left than to wait until the 31st. That's why I say it's a blessing for you to be on this call. Now, if you've noticed, I really have not put any posts on Facebook since the 25th because as I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper into myself, there's no time for me to be distracted with everything else that's going on. And I know that you guys are paying attention to me on Facebook because about 3 people sent me an inbox message today to ask if I was okay because it's not like me to not post inspirational messages. And I'm glad that you noticed. Well, I said I have to go inside and ask myself the questions about 2014. How is it going to look like for me in 2014? What am I going to do differently so that I can equip, encourage, and empower everybody who gets a chance to come into my presence or hear me speak on a conference call like this one? So I want to encourage all of you to totally start from today, from tonight, and start asking yourself some questions. And I'm going to help you with a few of them, but ask yourself many more questions if you can. And the reason why is because if you go into 2014 without having your quiet, reflective time, I promise you 2014 is going to be the same as 2013, which was the same as 2012, which was the same as 2011, which is the same as 2010, and all through your life. Because, see, your life is only going to change next year if you do things differently. And especially those of you on the call who are above 35. I mean, especially those of us who are above 35. You know, time is no longer on our side. That's the honest truth. If you're 40, you've probably already lived half of your life. And to me, if you're still struggling, maybe it's time for you to gracefully surrender the things of your youth and move on toward your adulthood in a different state of mind so that you can get the lifestyle that you want. And many people say, King, what do you mean by the lifestyle that I want? Well, maybe it's not becoming a multimillionaire. Maybe it's just getting yourself to a place where you're capable of taking care of your family. Maybe it's just getting yourself to a place where your kids are not in public school. Maybe it's just getting yourself to a place where you retire yourself and your spouse. Maybe it's just getting yourself to a place where you retire your parents. Maybe it's just getting yourself to a place where you can start your own business and actually throw your heart and your soul into it. Maybe it's just getting yourself to a place where you can go on vacation whenever you want and not have to go clock in and out for somebody else. And it's okay if you've done that up until today, but what is going to change? Because if you keep doing the same thing year after year, expecting to get different results, you'll be a little bit cuckoo because you put garbage in, garbage comes out. Now you put something that's of quality in, then you start getting quality results out of your life. And I think that 2014 is absolutely a time when there's really a shift going on in the world, guys. I know many of you may not feel it, but we're getting into a whole different dimension right now on planet Earth. That's the bottom line truth. We're getting into a space where people who can sit down and go deep within themselves and ask themselves the hard questions will very easily manifest the things that they want. We're beginning to realize that we're created in the image of God and that we can be, do, and have anything that we want in life. I get up every day telling myself that, see, I'm in the image of God, and so I really ought to not have, challenges and obstacles and difficulties beat me down. I would expect to see them, but because I'm in the image of God, I'm supposed to rise above them. I'm supposed to overcome them because think about it, can there really be any obstacle in the path of God? I don't think so. And so when I catch myself being frustrated and angry and beat down by circumstances, I snap out of it by reminding myself that God created me. He gave me a mind. And all I need to do is be renewed from my mind as to how I look at that challenge or that obstacle, and then I can rise above it. That's really just a little trick that all of you need to get to know. Understand who you are and whose you are. And when you get that in your heart of heart and in your soul, then there really will be no obstacles in your way. You're going to start looking at this obstacle as maybe just a little delay tactic from God, from the universe. And then you're going to see why there's the delay so that you can rise above it. For many of you on the call, if you're entrepreneurs, you'll see that there's so many of you who probably did not read 2 books this year. And so you still have the same mind frame that you brought in from 2012. That's why the results this year were the same like for last year and the previous year. So if you're going to go into 2014 and change your life, maybe you're going to start reading books. There's so many great books out there. Over the last 4 months on my Monday night conference calls, I've been doing Think and Grow Rich. Now, if there's any one of you who wants to grow rich, understand that you're not going to grow rich by working doubles. Understand that you're not going to grow rich by clocking in and out for anybody. Understand that you're not going to grow rich by working triple. Understand that you're not going to grow rich by getting more degrees than a thermometer. Understand that you're just not going to grow rich by getting credit cards and borrowing money. It's not going to happen. It's only going to happen when you start using this mind that God gave you and I. And so think and grow rich is how you grow wealthy, by thinking, not by doing everything else that traditional society has taught you and I to do. And I'm sure your parents were like my parents. Go to school, get that degree, get another one, become a pharmacist, become a doctor, become a lawyer, go clock in after somebody. They did that, and they ended up where they are today. What makes you think that you're going to do that and end up in a different place? When my mind started shifting, and I encourage all of you to do this, every time you go into Walmart, I want you to look at those old people who are at Walmart and understand that there was a time when they were 20 and 30 and 40 years old. Understand that they had jobs. They worked jobs. Understand that they had this Social Security and some benefits. But guess what? When all was said and done and they were of age to retire, they realized that all of those years, 40 years, was just a waste of their time because the money that they're getting, Social Security, is not enough to take care of them. That's why you see them at Walmart. That's why you see them at McDonald's. And don't think that you're going to be any different. As a matter of fact, guys, I want you guys to hear me loud and clear. If you're following up what's going on in the news and in the country, chances are there will be no Social Security for you and I when we come of age. I want that to sink in for a moment. As of right now, there's a very high probability that when all has been said and done, you and I have slaved for 40 years, clocking in and clocking out, hoping that Social Security would take care of us at the back end. Understand that there will be no Social Security before you and I get there because the debt is already in the trillions of dollars. And what that should tell you is that you've become aware of what you're doing, and so maybe you could start doing things differently over the next couple of years in your life so that your retirement age can be something that will be beneficial for you, so that you're not standing there at Walmart greeting everybody that comes in, putting a little smiley on the little kid's, chest and stuff like that. Because when you see them right now, you're thinking they're just people who are, maybe uneducated, never had a job and lost their jobs. But, well, guess what? They work. And if you start talking to them, you understand what I'm talking about, because I've talked to some of them. And I see that, and I tell myself I do not want to be in my 60s working for anybody else. See, guys, if you do what we're going to teach you this evening, I promise you when you're 60, you'll be on every island in the world. You'll be traveling the whole wide world and not worrying about where the finances is going to come from. Your kids will go to college, and you're not going to be worried as to how the tuition is going to be paid. I don't know how many of you know, if you keep doing the same thing that you're doing right now and you have kids, understand that for your children to go through a 4-year college program right now, you're looking at about $200,000 in tuition for 4 years. And do you realize that no matter what they go to school to study, there's almost no guarantee that they'll get a job that will earn them $50,000 a year? It's not King Pinyin saying it, it's just statistics. And I feel that knowledge is power. I know that because in the Bible, it says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, guys. The minute the eyes of your understanding opens up to the way you've been living your lifestyle, the minute the eyes of your understanding opens up to show you that everything is a pattern and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, the minute that understanding goes, that light bulb goes up, you start doing things differently. And that's the purpose of this call. How can you unleash your greatness in 2014? How can you go into 2014 with absolute confidence, knowing that you could be, do, and have anything that you want from 2014 onwards? See, there was a time when there was not $50 in my account by the 21st of the month. That was 8 or 9 years ago. Even though I had a good job as an Oracle database administrator working for a bank, I never used to have more than $50 in my account past the 21st. And by the 22nd, I was broke, flat out broke. That was why I had to send my little 1-year-old child to my parents in Africa. If you're from Africa, you understand that was a suicide mission right there. And many Africans like to say, oh, I'm sending them back home because I want them to have a good education and to grow up in the way that we grew up. Lies. That's a big lie. The truth is I had to look myself in the mirror and say, King Pinyin, you're broke. King Pinyin, you've let your son down. King Pinyin, you're average. You've been settling. That's why you can't afford to pay for daycare. It was just $750 for daycare a month. But I was not able to do that because I was struggling as he was before this little boy came along. And so I looked at myself in the mirror, I answered those hard questions, and I decided to do differently. And guys, that's all you need to do differently in 2014. That's all you need to do. And how do you do that? I'm going to share a few things with you guys. The first thing that I want you guys to do is I want you to start by taking a fresh look at 2013, the goals that you set for yourself on December 31st, 2012. I want you to sit down from today. I want you to start doing this thing from today. Start shutting out in preparation for 2014. I want you to get into 2014 in a totally different vibe, totally different energy space. But you got to start by asking yourself from today. I've been doing this for me since the 20th of December. Take a fresh look at your 2013 goals. And I want you to honestly ask yourself a few questions, okay? Ask yourself, did you accomplish them? What were the things that you went down on your knees and prayed and told God about on December 31st, 2012, about 2013? Did you accomplish those goals? Next thing, if you did not, why not? Chances are 95% of us on the call today did not accomplish our 2013 goals. 95% of us. Ask yourself, why not? And please do not blame it on your mom, your cousin, your kids, your spouse, the economy, your job. Do not blame it on them. Just ask you. This is a conversation you're having with you, the man or woman in the mirror. King, did I accomplish my 2013 goals? No. Why not, King Pinyin? Why not, Lovina? Why not, Bernard? Why didn't you accomplish those goals? It has nothing to do with anybody else but you. Ask yourself, why did you not accomplish those goals? And then ask yourself, what can you do to accomplish them in 2014? Because if it was important enough for you to get them on your goals list for 2013, then you're just kind of struggling it along, because chances are you've been carrying it along from 1970 up until now. So let's just face it right on. What can you do differently to accomplish them for you in 2014? How will your life change if you accomplish them? And how will your life remain not change if you do not accomplish them? So that's question number one. I sit down and I have my 3 key things that I go through every year, and that's the first thing I ask myself. I start by taking a look at the goals that I set for myself in 2012 for this year. Did I accomplish them? Why not? What can I do differently to accomplish them in the next year? In this case, it's 2014. See, once you're doing this, guys, what's going to happen is you're starting the process of really evaluating yourself. You're starting the process of asking yourself these hard questions and not blaming anybody else but you for the results that you've had in 2013. Number 2, now that you know that you did not accomplish them, and now that you're starting earlier, can you start a new goals list for 2014? So number 2 is you got to start a new goals list for 2014. And many people struggle with this. When I say start a goals list for the year, I found out from coaching many people that they struggle with it because the majority of people just want to make more money to keep their heads above water. Well, maybe the reason why you're not making money is because of a belief system that you have in your head. Maybe the reason why you're not making money is because you're in the wrong career, in the wrong business. Maybe the reason why you're not making enough money is because you lack somebody to coach you through the process. So you got to sit there, and as you're asking yourself this question, it's going to naturally roll into the next thing. So the next thing would be, how can I start a new goals list? How can my life be different next year? And under that starting a new goals list, I always say you got to start by saying, what do you really, truly want to be, do, and have in 2014? See, when I sat down from the 20th and I'm going through all of this, I asked myself some hard questions. King, what do you really, truly want to be, do, and have in 2014? That's the first question when you're making your list. And don't rush it, guys. This is too critical for you to rush through. See, when you're going to build a house, you sit down first and you count out all the costs. That's what it says in the Bible. And then what do you do next? You go lay a solid foundation. If you watch builders build, they spend weeks just laying the foundation. Once you lay that foundation, guess what? It takes 2 seconds for the house to go up, because it's built on a solid foundation. But if you choose to just say, I want to build a house, without even counting the cost, putting any thought into it, you jump out there and start raising the structure, guess what? That house, that structure is going to go down at the sign of the first wind. That's why many people have not been able to accomplish anything, because you never give it any serious thought. You never really think about it and ask yourself, what do I really, truly want to be, do, and have next year? I'm not talking about what your dad wants you to be. I'm not talking about what your mom wants you to be, what your uplines want you to be, what your spouse wants you to be. What do you truly want to be, do, and have in 2014? Now, that's the first thing. Next question you ask yourself under this main topic of setting down your goals is, why do you want to be, do, and have these things? See, guys, it's not enough to just say, I want to be a platinum. I want to be an SVP. I want to hit Indy. I want to start a business. I want to become an author. I want to become a speaker. And I want to travel the world. Why? The most important question is, why do you want to be, do, and have these things? Oh, let me tell you something. Your life will dramatically change when you start asking that why question. Why? Your life will dramatically change when you can say things, but also ask yourself, what is the psychology behind this? Why am I doing this thing? Or why do I keep doing it this way? What is it why do I do it that way? You start asking yourself questions. Every single human being on earth is equipped with that capacity to ask yourself these questions and get answers, because we're created in the image of God, and all answers are within us. Every single answer is within us. The problem is, can you sit still for a moment and ask yourself this question and not rush it? Not run away from the feeling, not run away from the frustration and all the feeling that you get by not wanting to face it. Just sit there and ask yourself, why do I want to be a platinum? Why do I want to start a business? Why do I have an organization of 10,000 people? Why do I want to make $10,000 a month? Why do I really want to be, do, and have this thing? Why do I want a big house? Why do you want it? Next thing under that topic is, what will happen if you do not achieve this goal in 2014? You see, in 2014, King, I want to become a platinum. My next question to you would be, why do you want to be a platinum? Do you want to be a platinum just because you think it's cute to be a platinum? Do you want to be a platinum just because you get front row seats every time we go to the Nationals? Do you want to be a platinum because your people are going to call your name 24/7 and talk about how wonderful you are and how, incredibly smart you are? Do you want to be a platinum because you want a share of the platinum pool when we go there in January every year? Do you want to be a platinum because you want to prove a point to your upline or downline or sideline that you can be a platinum too, and that you two are that good? When you start questioning the reasons or your motives for doing stuff, you get to learn a lot about yourself. And then you get to understand why maybe sometimes you do stuff and it doesn't work. Or maybe you get it and you're not satisfied, you're not happy with it, you still feel empty because you don't understand why. Next thing I'm going to ask you is, what will happen if you do not achieve this goal in 2014? If your goal is to become an SVP or a platinum, or to start a new business, become an author, write a book, travel the world, what will happen if you do not meet that goal in 2014? How will your life change? How miserable are you going to be? How frustrated are you going to be? How angry are you going to be if you do not achieve this goal in 2014? Will you feel less of a woman or less of a man, less of a partner? What will happen if you do not achieve this goal in 2014? Next thing is, what are some of because many people set goals and don't realize that life is not a free ride in a fancy car. In this planet called Earth, and in this journey called life, you have to expect obstacles at almost every bend of the road. So next thing that you ask yourself is, what are some of the possible obstacles or challenges that you would expect along the way to your goals in 2014? What are some of the obstacles or the challenges that can possibly come up? You see, the reason why many people quit at the sign of the first obstacle or challenge is that they never anticipated it. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. If I can anticipate a problem, then I can find the solution before it happens. It's called a backup plan. What are some of the obstacles? Oh, you want to become an artist? What are some of the obstacles in the artist's path? You want to become an author? What are some of the obstacles in your path? You want to become a speaker? What are some of the potential obstacles? You want to start your own business? What are some of the potential obstacles? You want to become a platinum? What are some of the obstacles on the path? What do you expect? You want to lose 20 pounds? What are some of the obstacles that are going to be in your path? You want to become a doctor, a pharmacist, a lawyer, an accountant, a nurse? What are some of the obstacles that you can anticipate along the way? Because if you can anticipate it, you're already in the mind frame to start looking for the solution. And if you cannot get the solution in anticipation, you're going to find people who can mentor and coach you through the process. Because it'll be insanity to assume that there'll be no obstacles between you and your goals. Next thing I ask myself is, how can I prepare myself to overcome these obstacles when they show up? So far I've told you about two things. Beginning today, number one, take a fresh look at your 2013 goals and ask yourself those questions. Did you accomplish them? Why not? What can you do to accomplish them in 2014 so you can get the ball rolling? Number two, start a new goals list for 2014. What do you want to be, do, and have in 2014? Why do you want to be, do, and have these things in 2014? What will happen if you do not achieve these goals in 2014? What are some of the possible obstacles that you would expect along the way in 2014? And how can you prepare yourself to overcome these obstacles? If you're in Starlink, for instance, what are you going to do when that whole indie leg crumbles and collapses? What are you going to do when your points go from 8,000 to 4,000 and you are pushing for platinum at 15,000 points? What are you going to do when your money goes from $15,000 a month to $8,000 a month? What are you going to do? Literally, what are you going to do when your money goes from $40,000 a month to $5,000 a month because your whole organization has collapsed? What are you going to do? Are you going to stand and face it take the bull by the horns and keep going? Or are you going to say, oh, that thing don't work? Let me find the very next company to run to and start all over again. Yes, I have good news for you if you do that next year. I promise you that if you keep running away from obstacles and challenges, you're always going to be running. And there's nothing near as tiring and as frustrating as a life that's on the run. It is so boring and so tiring. That's why some of you are always angry and always frowning, because there's something that you need to turn around and face it squarely in the eyes, but you're not because you're too scared to do it. But then the problem is your life is shitty the way it is because you're too scared to turn around and just take that bull by the horn. And here's the thing. I found out something about fear and about these bulls and these mountains that are in our way. They are cowards. The minute you turn around and face it, they back down like little babies. It's unbelievable. It's like they're just crying wolf for nothing behind you, and because you're just running away and it's like fun. But the minute you turn around and say, you know what, stop, sorry poverty, sorry average, sorry mediocre, you know what, I'm going to overcome, guess what? They crumble. Just like that. And you're going to be like, wait a minute, that's all I really had to do, and I've been running away from this thing for 5 years? Seriously? That's really all I had to do to earn $10,000, $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month? And I've been slaving, trying to make $3,000 out of job where I have no control of my life and all of that? You think entrepreneurship is hard. It is the easiest thing in the world. The only thing that's hard is making that decision to turn around, walk out of your job and start a business and stick with it until it catches on, until it reaches maturity. Number three, very important part. You got to start the process, guys, of looking within you for your answers. You got to start the process of looking within you for your answers. If there's one thing I can leave you guys with today, And I want you to know this, not hear it, not think about it. I want you to know this. As surely as you know that your name is your name, I want you to know that the kingdom is within you. I want you to know that the kingdom is within you. It's not somewhere in the sky and all of that. It's within you. And what do I mean by kingdom? I mean that the power is within you. It only takes a spark to get it going. But inside every one of us is that little fire that's just there. And the minute you light that fire or relight that fire, you'll be introduced to somebody that you never knew was in there. None of us came here alone. We were sent here for a purpose. We absolutely were sent here for a purpose. You look at little kids and you understand what I'm talking about. They have no fear. They have no worries. They really don't. Because they still remember where you and I came from. And that programming is still there within them. Truly, it's still there within them. I don't know about you, but I've heard stories of little babies on the bed and a snake around them, a python around them, doing nothing. Just stays there and then leaves. They play with it and then they go. But the minute an adult comes in and screams, something happens. Because right there, that little child knows no difference. It's just there. There's no fear inside of it. You and I have it inside of us. If you're not an indie, an SVP, an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, a multimillionaire, it's because you've not awakened to the fact that the kingdom is inside of you. Now, in addition to seeking all these other things that we're seeking, ultimately you have to go inside and do the work. Ultimately, you have to go inside of you and do the work. And how do you go inside of you and do this work? See, I'm sorry to tell you guys, and please forgive me if you're a pastor on the call, but I know you know what I'm talking about. You can go to church all you want. As a matter of fact, you can go to church from today till you die. If you're going there and just sitting there and expecting your pastors to do miracles, good luck. Before any miracle is performed on you, before that illness goes away, before that poverty is shattered, you are going to unquestionably know in your heart of hearts that it can be broken. And then somebody who is spiritually higher than you in that one moment can help you see something that you've never seen before, and then that illness can be overcome. But ultimately, the kingdom is inside each and every one of us. And in 2014, in order for you to really come into your own and find that place of peace within you from where you can operate in absolute abundance, you're going to have to know about what I call the 4 pillars of success. I believe that there are 4 pillars that need to be in place in order for you to succeed and succeed unquestionably. I mean the kind of success that lets you sleep at night and not worry. I guess that's what it means by he gives you all the things and he adds no sorrow to it. Where your conscience is so clear that you can go to sleep at night having said all that you want to say and not really care because you know the place, the source from which you're coming, which unfortunately 98% of the world does not know. But if you can find that place, I promise you, life will never, ever be the same again from 2014. Pillar number 1. You got to understand that you and I cannot just go through life like that. You got to learn to connect to the present. You got to learn to reconnect to the present. So many of us are superficial. I want you guys to think about it. How many of you have literally driven your car all over your city today and got back home and not even noticed anything on the way? Nothing. You just drove to wherever you were going and back home. Think about it. If you're just coming in from work, I promise you never took note of all the stoplights in your way. You never took note of the people by the street. You never took note of the trees. You just did not. You were just remote control, robot mode, programmed like everybody else. And if you're going through life like that, there can be no miracles in your life. Miracles only happen when you're present. So you become more aware of all that is out there. After you've done number 1 and number 2, number 3 is the most important for 2014. Ask yourself, how can I become more aware of all that's out there? See, a lot of people are being fooled, lied to, and all of that just because you're missing one thing. You're not present. And because you're not present to your life, you're answering yes to everybody else's life. But the minute you answer yes to your life, I promise you, it's almost as if your life force knows exactly where to take you. You know who needs to be in your space and who does not need to be in your space. You know whose trainings you need to listen to and whose trainings you do not need to listen to, because I strongly believe that the anointing flows from top downwards. That's how it is. You got to answer present to your life. How can you become more aware of all that's out there? How can you become more aware of the inner conflict that's going on in your life? See, many people don't even know that they have an inner conflict. Maybe you're looking so seriously to become a platinum, to change your life, make more money next year, but you're not realizing that there's a conflict inside of you that's saying rich people are going to hell. Rich people are evil, they're mean. Maybe you're not even thinking about that, but it's just they're locked in your subconscious mind. And guys, if there's one thing you must learn and know in 2014, is this thing called the subconscious mind. If there's one thing you have to learn in 2014, is this thing called the subconscious mind. Anything that's in your subconscious mind is what's constantly manifesting in your lives right now. I respectfully want to tell you that the quality of life that you have today, broke, fat, ugly, angry, bitter, whatever it is, I promise you, is something that's locked in your subconscious mind. And as long as it is there, you will never outperform that image that's in your subconscious mind. You have to know what the subconscious mind is. Because the images you hold there is what's manifesting around your lives right now. And the minute you start becoming more aware, you're going to start asking yourself the hard questions like, so how do I let go of this thing? How do I move away from it? How can I move away from this place of inner conflict to a place of calm? Because in order for you to create an abundant lifestyle, it has to come from a place of calm. That's why that mandate in the Bible that I love so much and that you absolutely need to love and embrace says, be still and know. Be still and know. There's power in silence. There's power in silence. Number 2, you got to learn to reconnect with the presence. That part of yourself that you do not usually access. Some of you may call it your inner self, your higher self, God, whatever you call it. You got to reconnect with that spirit, that God force that's inside of you. You got to connect with it. You got to tap into it. Whatever it is that you conceive it to be, you have to connect with it. You want to see miracles happen in your life? Connect with that presence. It's almost funny how it's like it knows exactly why you're here, what you should be doing, and all the places that you should be going to. It knows, but you don't know how to do those things because you're not connected to that source, that presence. When you see people who seem to know exactly what they want, get close to them and you understand that they are rooted. That's what being rooted means. They're connected to that source. They really are. They get this hunches, intuition. They just seem to know. They can't explain it, but they just know. Why do they know? Because they're connected. Number 3, you got to reconnect with yourself. You cannot absolutely give what you do not have. In order for you to connect, you must be able to connect with yourself first before you can connect with anybody else. Before you can connect with your spouse, your kids, your friends, your mom, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your business partners, and all of that, you first of all have to be connected with yourself. You need to be reintroduced to yourself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. That's what you need to do. You need to reintroduce the real you to this 2013 model or version of you in order for you to go into 2014 and make those dreams a reality. You want to unleash that greatness? Allow yourself to be reintroduced to yourself. See, on the January 1st, after I've done all of this, I wake at midnight 1 minute, I say, allow me, King Pinyin, to introduce you to the real King Pinyin. And she's going to be in charge for 2014. Because I've done my homework for a couple of days. You're going to have a chance to do that too, starting from today. Forget hanging out with the boys, the girls. Forget everything else. Let me tell you something. If everything was on fire right now, just let it burn. Right now, it's about you, reconnecting with you so that 2014 can be totally different. Because here's the honest truth, guys. If your life is not where you want it to be, you've been hanging around the wrong crowd. Because you're a reflection of the people you hang around with. So if you've been hanging out with this old, boys from the hood, from way back when, my boy, my homeboy, my homegirl, whatever you call them, my personal people, whatever you choose to call them, and your life is not where you want it to be, leave them alone. So if they're going to the club tonight, they're going wherever they're going, spend time with you. And do that for the next 4 days getting into 2014, and it'll be like, whoa, okay. Instead of going out there, read a book. Start asking yourself the question. I think that's what it means by ask, seek, and knock. Your real self is just standing there waiting for you to ask, seek, and knock. That's really it. You start asking and seeking and knocking, the door opens up and you meet you. And then you find out that there's no mountain that's too high, no valley that's too low, no ocean that's too wide for you to get to where you want to go in 2014. You got to learn to be comfortable with yourself. Be at peace with who you are. You got to be comfortable and at peace with who you are. Embrace you in all your personalities. I'll tell you one reason why nobody has ever been able to break me down. I may not have known about all the other things. I've always known King Pinyin. It don't matter what you call me, what names you give me, what labels or what you give me, what titles. I don't care about being a double platinum and author and all of that. I know my source. I know who King Pinyin is. And the minute you embrace you in all your broken personalities, I tell you, there's nothing to worry about. When somebody says you're this, you say, oh, that's news? I already knew that. When somebody says something, you're like, really? I already knew that? What else? Because you've embraced you. And if you can connect with you, then I promise you can connect with everybody else. And business becomes easy. And then you got to learn number 4. You got to learn to reconnect with others. See, I gave them to you in order. You start by connecting with the present, start by connecting with that presence inside of you, then go on to connecting with yourself, and then you'll be able to connect with others. That's number 4. See, understand that your life is defined by your relationships. That's just it. Your life is defined by your relationships. At the root of everything that's frustrating you right now and driving you crazy is a person. It could be your mother, your mother-in-law. It could be your father-in-law. It could be your brother. It could be your sister. It could be your upline. It could be your downline. It could be your friends. But it's always at the root of every problem. When you go deep into it, even if you think it's not, when you dig deep, it's some hurt, something about somebody. Because our life is defined by our relationships. And the root of it is like your fears are driving you, your hurts are driving you, your disappointments are driving you. All of those things. So you got to understand, if you can work on the first 3, then naturally you're going to be able to connect with others. You're going to naturally be able to connect with others. And then, of course, the last thing I want to talk about is connecting with life around you, everything else that's going on around you. Because all of us are surrounded by life. How can you connect with everything that's around you? How can you, in its totality, in everything that it is, how can you connect with life? How do you see life? Do you see life as happening to you or happening for you? How are you going to see life in 2014? Is it going to be it's happening to you or it's happening for you? If your business collapses, do you see that it's happening for you? Because maybe you need some skills. I'll tell you one story before I leave, as far as this goes, because I want you guys to see how life can happen for you. See, initially you would think it's happening against you, but it's to you, but it's happening for you. You see, Lovina already told you guys, I came into finance, became an entrepreneur, was incredibly successful. Just 2 years into the company, Sonny and I, no experience whatsoever, hit the top level in the company, Platinum Senior Vice President, with absolutely no experience. We hit that. And I did the next daring thing. I wanted to open up a continent. And it started like a joke. But guess what? Ended up from scratch, doing a startup and rolling out the entire everything that you can possibly think of. Craig and Jeff thought I'd done something phenomenal, made me VP of sales for Africa. I didn't even know what that meant, except I wanted to start a business. That's it. And everything was going smoothly. All through 2008, 9, 10, Sonny and I were number one on the production board. Is the records, go check them. Number one. Why? Because we started the whole business right there, and it was booming like crazy. I knew for a fact that come sun, rain, high waters, by 2012, I would be a Diamond SVP. There was no question in my mind that I would be the first Diamond SVP with that kind of production, because I started from Nigeria. I was going to go into South Africa. I was going to go into Ghana, go into my country. I just knew I was going to do it, because I picked the hardest country to go open up a business in, Nigeria and Africa, because I knew if I could get it done there, every other country would be a walk through the park. Well, guess what? It was going phenomenal. It was going good. And then in 2010, somewhere around July, something started happening. All the phones we sold out there were not working. Why? Because of the Internet. We have one product, voice over IP. And just like everything else in Africa, nobody improves or maintains anything. So whatever bandwidth that they have bought in 2008, that was the same bandwidth that they had. And because we're acquiring all these customers and piling them up, and the whole country was opening up to the age of the Internet, well, guess what? Everything that was supposed to be high-speed Internet now became dial-up during the day. So our phones would literally only work at night because people were asleep and out of the Internet. So things started going down and down and down, and there were no signs of improvement. I tried just about everything, met with the big companies, because I'm not scared of anybody. If I want to meet Barack today, I'm going to meet him. I'm just going to find a way to do that. So I met with all these big companies, trying to show them why they need to buy more bandwidth. Because I thought, you know what, if you can just buy bandwidth, I promise you within a year I will use it all up, because I'm selling this incredible product that the whole continent needs. But it never worked. And then we had to pull out of Nigeria in May of 2011. I thought God had forgotten about me. I was pissed. I was angry. I was like, seriously? From 2008, I've been here working my heart out, trying to build something that was going to not only empower, people here, but empower the whole African continent. I was like, God, you know my heart. I want to change this continent. Like this was my vehicle. Why does it have to stop? I prayed, fasted for 9 consecutive days. Nothing happened. And I heard the voice that said it was time for me to come back here. And then I did. But I was angry. I really was. Because you know what I thought? I thought life was happening to me. I did not understand that life was happening for me. See, I had grown to a point in Africa. Now I understand it, because I had grown to a point in Africa that I absolutely needed the skills and every leadership abilities, entrepreneurial mindset, the network to go to the next level. I was not getting that because all of my energy was focused on this little company. And I was missing all these other skills. But most importantly, I needed to go into the next realm spiritually that I was not ready to go to because I was focusing on all these other things. And when I came back, guys, I tell you something. When things happen to you, I want you to understand that it's happening for you, because there really would never be an obstacle in your path if you know who you are and whose you are and why you're here. You see, because God will always try to send people your way. He sent the first person my way in the person of Dr. Mike Murdoch, who tried to tell me what was happening, but I was so angry I didn't see it. And so for another 6 months, I was angry about that company. I was just tired. I didn't feel like doing nothing. I didn't feel like building here, because I felt like, man, I was supposed to be Diamond SVP. I mean, this company folded when I had 2 people in my second leg that were about to hit SVP, for that second leg to be Platinum SVP. So I was thinking about all of these things and thinking life happened to me. And then I came back when the eyes of my understanding opened, and I was open enough and ready to receive. God started connecting me to the right people. The first connection was Dr. Mike Murdoch, and then John C. Maxwell. I became a certified coach. And then Tony Robbins, who's like my mentor for life right now. And from those 3 people, my whole life has changed. because life was happening for me. I needed to tap into people who were already at a different dimension in order for me to operate at capacity. Why am I saying this? Because I think that many of you on this call think that life is happening to you. And as long as you have that perspective that it's happening to you, you will never see that it is happening for you. Because over the last 2 years, my whole life has transformed, completely transformed. I'm in an incredible space mentally. I'm in an incredible space emotionally. I'm in an incredible space spiritually, and it just keeps opening for that spirit realm. I'm in an incredible space financially because I opened up. I'm an author right now, a speaker, John Maxwell Certified Leadership Coach. Why? Because I have to be here to connect with these people so that I can go on that next journey. And when I go back there to open up the company again, you understand I'm going to be operating from a totally different place. And if I was going to impact 1 million lives before, I know right now that I can impact 900 million lives because I'm operating at full capacity. What's going on with you? Is your business crumbling? Is God trying to take somebody away from your life and you're holding on to them for dear life? Are your relationships okay? Are your finances doing their own thing? What's going on with you that makes you feel like, oh my gosh, life is happening to me? How about if you just say for 1 minute that it's happening for you? Because what I found out, guys, is that there's absolute power in letting go. What if surrendering is victory? What if all you really need to do is surrender and recognize that surrendering is victory? What if you've always fought it before? You've been fighting it for all these years. What if you just let it go and let it do its own thing? What if that's all you need to do to go to the next level? My hope and my prayer for all of you guys is that the eyes of your understanding open. And I know it already has. So with that, thank you very much for having me on the call, Lovina. I'm going to turn you back to you.
Wow.